After rewatching Richard Dawkins' series, The Enemies of Reason, I was reminded that although there are many negatives in religion, there are a few things that they and the New Agers still hold the patents on that may actually be useful to humanity. As you saw in my little tour of my altar, I enjoy my altar, rituals, and feng shui. Many purists would say, well, you aren't a real skeptic if you indulge in that. I use these not in a dogmatic way, but in a helpful way. I coined this phrase in discussion with my girlfriend the other week, which I called useful mysticism. My kitchen god is no different than pretending that Santa Claus is real, and if that reminds me to keep my kitchen clean, I may have to get a bathroom god after Chinese New Year to remind me to keep my toilet clean. It's fun to pretend. Thanks to a mix of pareidolia, which is seeing patterns that aren't there, and our own mirror neurons, which produce empathy, we're capable of feeling life or a presence when it's actually not there, especially on inanimate objects. People have actually suffered from emotional loss when their Roomba dies. I mean, that's how emotionally empathic we can be in terms of non-feeling objects. If I can trick my mind to think that the kitchen god is actually a presence and will punish me if I don't keep my kitchen clean, then all the better. The mind readily accepts and is open to an illusion thanks to our limited perceptions and mental processes. I find it interesting that along with so many scientists, illusionists are some of the top skeptics. Just because I go see an illusionist, it doesn't mean that I believe that person has any magical powers. The same is true for my kitchen god. My altar is a reminder of things that are important to myself and what I hold dear. I light candles and meditate and do yoga in front of it, in an attempt to be reminded that I should focus on what is truly important in life and relax. There are actually many atheists out there who still attend worship service, specifically in non-judgmental and liberal churches for this very reason. There are beautiful interiors and rituals that allow that person to take their mind off the real world for a period of time, which is very therapeutic at times. Alternative medicine practitioners give pampering, attention, and advice, and they allow us to be in a non-jaded, relaxed, safe place, which is good for the brain on occasion. My girlfriend and I went to a Greek fest on the north side of town, and they were celebrating their Greek Orthodox church. The spokesman proudly proclaimed that when the Russian Tsar decided to pick a religion for his country, he sent ambassadors around and picked the Greek Orthodox Church because it was the most beautiful. I was blown away that being pretty was the reason anyone would pick a religion. However, on a certain level, I can understand. Beauty is their idea of God, and they want to be closer to God. Churches weren't even constructed till the 4th century, and the Christian community was more like a communist co-op who were supposed to help the poor and needy as opposed to making rich buildings. Dr. Robert Price suggested in place of churches we should build lyceums, which in ancient Greece were places of learning and art as well as a gymnasium and library. It was a place to come and discuss philosophy, science, or art, and it was beautifully designed. It was a cathedral to learning that took one out of the mundane and inspired one to learn. They also acted as public meeting houses, much like the British pubs used to be. I don't know how finding the funds for this sort of project would be raised, considering all the other things needing our help. However, the idea would take away one more thing that religion can hold a patent on. Churches also hold a patent in 2 other areas. That is the collection plate and group singing. It is found that religious people give more, and that is actually the only area where they can statistically claim to surpass us in terms of the ethical high ground. A lot of this, however, is caused by the fact that churches hit them up with constant reminders of giving and making it very easy to give and uncomfortable not to give. Sadly, a lot of this giving, however, goes to not actually help those in need, but to frivolous decorations at best and televangelists at worst. Group singing is pretty much the only thing I miss about church. In fact, I know a few people who still go to church because it's the only place where singing is not only allowed, but almost mandatory. If you watch my video, Amazing Truth, it shows I haven't been to church in 8 years as my voice has sadly fell out of practice. Many Christians think that God is filling them during their praises to Him in song, but studies have found that singing in unison has an emotional effect on anyone regardless of the song, and it creates a feeling of community and togetherness. For some reason, singing anywhere else these days is looked down on or considered annoying because our iPods have set the standard very high of what is considered good singing. Karaoke is the only place that singing is okay in our society, and it's rarely together. Who knows, maybe Rock Band will be the new church for many people. We had a great time singing along to the Beatles together at our Center for Inquiry on New Year's. Maybe Just As I Am will be replaced with I Am the Walrus for group singing. Sounds like a great ritual to start to me. Dawkins also discussed pseudo-science in his video and found a few positive things about it. In certain cases of magic, like crystals, there is a fun in getting new things, and most of the pseudoscience books I've found have beautiful pictures that seem full of hope. I use feng shui because it helps me declutter, and people say it helps me make the room look nice, which is good as I have no fashion sense. It also makes me more aware of things in my house I need to take care of. Even if it's not real, the effects I put into it are useful mysticism. A little illusion is good for the soul, and the placebo effect helps. However, overspending, reduced skepticism, blind belief, and getting ripped off are not good. If your skepticism becomes compromised by not scientifically backed treatments or beliefs, back off so you can think without emotion involved. In alternative medicine, if you can't back up the treatment with scientific methods such as double-blind testing, maybe you should replace it with a massage. Something tried and true to be highly beneficial for you if done by a licensed practitioner, and you get pampered to your heart's content. Thanks.